Hello everybody and welcome back to a brand new video on the Infinite Baffle channel. My name is Niall and today I'm very excited to be bringing you an overview of the Quad 3 Integrated Amplifier. Quad, a brand that we are a big fan of here at Infinite Baffle. We covered the 33 and 303 earlier in the year and absolutely loved it. The Quad 3 here taking a lot of inspiration from that in terms of its design, and yeah, this is one we were very excited for. If you do enjoy this video, make sure to leave a thumbs up on it. Make sure to subscribe for weekly hi-fi content. We've just crossed 4,200 subscribers, slowly closing in on that 5,000, so if you could subscribe and help us hit that, that'd be absolutely awesome. But yeah, without any further ado, let's get stuck into it. Although it's not been said officially by Quad, I don't think, a lot of people are kind of branding this as a Quad Vena 3 because I think it is going to be effectively replacing the Vena II, and they are some big shoes to fill for the Quad 3 here because the Vena had always been super well received, performed well and sounded absolutely fantastic at its price point. So yeah, some big shoes to fill, and when you look at it aesthetically, it's very different to the eye compared to the Vena. That goes without saying. I mean, as we've just touched upon, this takes a lot from the 33, 303 and of course the original model that came out in the 70s with its kind of matte silver front panel and of course the iconic orange quad glow. But yeah, some big shoes to fill replacing the Vena. It does feel like a real trend at the moment in the hi-fi market, this kind of heritage legacy kind of release that a lot of manufacturers are doing, and I think that's kind of natural because obviously 50 years ago now is the mid-70s when a lot of this kind of stuff was first really being mass produced, and naturally a lot of the manufacturers want to kind of tip their cap and give a bit of a nod back to the original models. And yeah, I'm a big fan of it. I mean, we covered the Quad 33 303 earlier in the year. If you didn't see that video, I will put a link to that in the description down below. We were a big fan of that when we first got our hands on it, so it's great to see that this design kind of continues on from that. You've actually got this illuminated volume dial, which wasn't on the 33 303, I don't believe, but obviously that classic orange glow front panel that we've touched upon is just all out retro quad aesthetics. The tone controls that we've just mentioned on the front here are actually again something that screams quad to me. I mean, something that they've really pioneered in the past is the tilt control, which allows you to kind of shift the sound signature from warm to bright or wherever you want to be. And I think quad products generally tend to be a little bit warmer leading as standard, but the ability to kind of shift that is a really nice feature, and when you're doing so, the way it's designed is that you're not moving the center image and you're not compromising the same quality. The bass and treble, again, you know, we're not talking adjustments to the level of something you'd see in the likes of an Ever Solo EQ, but again, small, simple adjustments, and they are audibly noticeable in my experience. When it comes to the numbers side of things, the Quad 3 here is going to be hitting the market at £1,249, so a little bit more expensive than the Vena II Play was when that was initially released. It comes in with 65 watts of power into 8 ohms or 100 watts into 4 ohms, all coming in the form of Class AB power, which should be, you know, more than enough to get the most out of a lot of bookshelf and floor standing speakers on the market. We will also include a link to the Quad 3 in the description below, so if you want to comb through all of the tech specs at your leisure, you can do so there. Connectivity will also raise a few eyebrows, I think, with the Quad 3 because compared to a lot of other amplifiers at the same kind of price point, it does feel a little bit sparse. Now, there's no built-in streamer, which in 2025 I think some people might be a bit upset about. It does still have wireless connectivity through Bluetooth 5.1 aptX, and if you did want to add a streamer on, you do of course have the ability to do so. It does have a built-in moving magnet phono stage as well as a HDMI ARC input, which is a big plus, and it does feel like Quad have gone for a kind of quality over quantity approach when it comes to the connectivity here. It also boasts USB-B as well as optical and coaxial digital connectivity, but another really impressive feature here is the 6.35mm headphone jack, which means you could effectively use this as a dedicated headphone amp. When listening to the Quad 3 here, we actually paired it up with the Wharf.Evo Evo 5.2, a speaker that we actually did an overview video of fairly recently, and that also gives me the chance to do another shameless plug, so if you do want to check out that video, again, the link will be in the description. I think what a lot of people are going to want to know is just how much better is this than the Vena being such a well-reviewed unit, really well revered in the hi-fi community, and it's been around for some time. So just where does the Quad 3 improve on that? Now, aesthetically, definitely an upgrade in my opinion. I think this looks like a much nicer unit. I love the throwback vibe. I love the orange light. Really good looking piece of kit in my opinion. But when it comes to the sound, are the differences tangible? Yes, in my opinion, in a word, because the biggest game changer here, in my opinion, is the ESS DAC that's built into the 3. It's the flagship DAC that's out from ESS at the moment, and it's a massive game changer compared to what was in the Vena before it. It gives you a lot more of a clearer sound, and it's a lot quieter of a unit, as well as adding a lot more layering and texture to the sound overall compared to the Vena II. I think if you were a fan of the Vena II sound, then you will be a fan of this here, because they haven't, ripped it all up and started again. They've very much taken what was a great platform with the Vena II and just kind of evolved it a little bit. You've still got what I would consider that kind of quad warmth that can, of course, be adjusted with the tilt a little bit, but that kind of standard sound is the very warm leaning quad sound, and that's very much what I thought the Vena gave you, and this gives you exactly the same, but with a little bit more refinement. A lot of this I think is down to the soundstage, which I think has been tweaked and improved just that little bit to give you that extra bit of refinement that I mentioned. I saw somebody else's video on this where they actually said that it's kind of, they've taken that sound and just finessed it, and I completely agree. They're kind of building upon what was a great base already here. I think the 3 just gives you access to that extra layer or two of richness and warmth that the Vena just wasn't quite ever able to get to as good as it was. And on top of that, it's also a very simple, straightforward unit to use. Completely by design, this is by Quad, because everything always feels like it's a click or two away, whether you're changing your source, adjusting the tones, everything is just literally, if we're not using the remote control that is included, if you're using the front panel here, literally a touch or two away. And I think because Quad have gone for this quality over quantity approach, I think, you think of the HDMI ARC, you could use it as an interface with the television. You think of the headphone jack, using it as a dedicated headphone amplifier. The phono stage, which is really solid, you could hook this up to a turntable. In all of those areas, this unit will do a fantastic job. I do honestly believe there has never been a better time to be a consumer than right now when it comes to the entry-level to mid-level hi-fi market, because it is so competitive, and what that means is there's more innovation, and as a consumer you're generally getting more bang for your buck. I mean, when you consider that this unit is going up against the likes of the Musical Fidelity A1, the Arkham Radio A15, both multiple award winners, and yet I still think there's a place for this on the market. I can still see a situation where somebody would choose this over those 2 units, for example. I mean, whether it's because of the old school legacy aesthetics that I just know some people will absolutely love, whether it's just the simplicity and fantastic ease of use that you get from this, or just that traditional, warm, lovely quad sound that this produces. There are many people that this will have big appeal for. So I think, again, Quad have absolutely smashed it out the park here. I mean, I loved the 33303, and that kind of continues on with the same kind of legacy yet modern twist on a product that is just so popular right now. And I'd of course love to know your thoughts on this in the comment section down below, as always, guys. I mean, are you a fan of this kind of old school throwback design, or would you prefer something more modern, looking like an Ever Solo, a Blue Sound? I mean, there is such choice and variety on the market right now. Honestly, we are absolutely spoiled, but that is going to end off this video. As always, guys, thank you so much for your support on the channel. As I mentioned at the start, if you did find this video helpful, make sure to leave a thumbs up on it. Make sure to subscribe for weekly hi-fi content, and we'll see you all in next week's video, guys. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.